It's always good when we come into new seasons and we start being able to use different ingredients. For example, I've used tomatoes all year round, admittedly, but they are better at this time of the year. And during the winter months, I tend to use canned ones, as you know. So now we're talking about good tomatoes, ripe, with a bit of acid in them. And we start thinking of different dishes. And what I'm doing here is some slow roasted tomatoes. Now all you do is cut the core out and just throw them into a pan with a decent amount of seasoning and a decent amount of olive oil and just some whole garlic cloves which I've just smashed a bit. So what I'm really doing is getting a really nice flavoured oil here, which I'm then going to cook some fish in. So we've got the oil that's got that lovely garlicky, tomatoey flavour. And always remember, even when tomatoes are not at their absolute best, if you roast them slowly, and I'm talking about 170 degrees here, if you roast them slowly, what happens is it accentuates the flavour. And when they are at their best, well, you're talking terrific stuff. Now, I'm just going to do a couple of fish steaks now. I've got here, I'd say they're, what shall we say this is? I'm trying to think what it is. I'm not trying to say, it's blue eye, that's right. I was lost there a bit. And we're just going to do some even pieces of this. Always cut fish evenly as much as possible because then it cooks evenly. Right, so if it's all different shapes and sizes, I'll keep that bit for something else. If it's different shapes and sizes, obviously it's going to cook at a different rate and you're going to have some of it cooked and some of it not. And what we then do is just put that in that oil and toss it around a bit. I will grab my tongs. I don't know why I'm doing that with my fingers. I'm being a bit silly, I think. So make sure you toss it around in that lovely flavoured oil. And we will season it a little. And obviously you can do this for as many or as few people as you like. Because you've got quite a large tray, just put a few more tomatoes in, a few more cloves of garlic, some extra olive oil. And then we throw that back into the oven, still keep it at that fairly low degree, and we're just going to roast it until that fish is just cooked. Now do remember, cooking fish, don't overcook it because fish keeps a lot of the heat in and it will continue to cook once you pull it off the heat. Now this is looking pretty good. It's only taken about 4 or 5 minutes. I think it's 5. I wasn't actually counting. And I've turned it over once, and when I turned it over, that bit of fish was so tender it broke up. I should have used a fish slice. Let's be very fair about it. But it is looking good. Ah, yeah, it's beautiful. You'll find fish cooked like this is so moist. It is absolutely stunning. Right, sorry, just before I do that, Rob, I'm digressing. I thought I'd just chop up a little bit of basil and we'll throw that into those juices as well. You don't need to add the basil unless you want to. I love the flavour of basil and tomato and garlic. I just think that it works so well together. So we'll just chop it up, just roughly, just like that. And then we'll start thinking about this. And this time I actually will grab my fish slice. But we'll grab one of those tomatoes which are going to be very tender, so you have to be very careful with that. They're quite large, so I think I might only put one on that plate. Also a couple of cloves of the garlic. You can leave the garlic behind if you want to. It really is up to you because the flavour will be there. And always make sure that you present the fish on the nice side. When I say the nice side, you see what I mean. I mean that's a more attractive side than the other one. And you know, we're talking real simple things here, but we're talking really good ingredients. So just do me one favour. Obviously the tomatoes have to be ripe with lots of flavour. The fish has to be spotlessly fresh because it's cooked so simply. A little bit of garlic adds that little bit of zing. We're talking a good dish, simple, tasty, perfect at this time of the year.